Welcome to Coaches Weekly. I'm CJ Selner here with head baseball coach Mike Stawski. Coach, first off, congratulations, 200 career wins. We knew it was going to come at some point this year. I don't know if we expected 20 games in.
No, I know. Me and you talked at the beginning of the season, and we said we better get to 200 this year. Yeah, I don't think anybody expected us to do it in the first 20 games, but it's a really cool milestone. It's really cool to do it on the back end of a 19-game win streak. I'd like to sit here and lie to you and say, oh, I remember all 200 wins. I don't remember them all. But the cool thing is, I do remember all the players and coaches that were involved in those 200 wins. And that's what makes it really cool. And just looking forward to and hoping and praying that I have the same type of character and kids and coaches in my next 200.
19-game winning streak, 6-0 this week. The way the weather works in the spring, it can create a very taxing thing on your pitching staff. But everybody kind of stepped up this week. Starters threw well. Bullpen, who hasn't been challenged much here once we've gotten back in the north, has pitched well as well.
They did. They, our pitching staff we thought was going to be really good coming in. We didn't think they were going to pitch this well, and they have. They've pitched great. And even the games where, we gave up 4, 5, or 6 runs, if you go look at the box score, we probably scored 10, 11, 12. So it's nice that if one facet of the game isn't working, the other one's kind of going to pick it up. Nothing more evident than game 1 against WLC. We only scored 2, which is the lowest total of the year, but we only gave up 1. So it's kind of cool where yesterday we gave up 6 against a good IIT team, but we scored 17. So it's nice to see that when one side's kind of rolling, the other side can kind of take a deep breath and just play the game. And it was nice to see us win a couple different ways this weekend.
Offensively, your guys have made it very tough on me picking athletes of the week and all. 4 guys that really stood out. Jose Mercado hits 500. Brian Van Duzer drives in 10 and hits over 400. Brody Mariotti hits a bunch of home runs, drives in 8. And then Connor Brandon gets going, hits 4 home runs. This offense is going nuts right now. Yeah,
I mean, you're talking about your 1, 3, 4, 5 hitters. If those guys are going to hit and get on base, it's going to be really tough to beat us. And I said at the beginning of the year that we may not lead the country in anything offensively. We may not. But what you're not going to find in our lineup is a bunch of really easy outs. You're going to have to really work for outs. So it's nice that we're beating guys in different ways. Like yesterday, we hit 6 home runs in one game. Not something that we normally do, but we did it. We stole 8 bases in game 2. We're finding different ways from an offensive side to win games. But it's no coincidence that you just named 3 seniors right there. Guys have been there, have done it. We're getting into the middle of our season, and they're starting to play their best baseball, which is kind of scary with the idea that we're 19-1.
19-1, 19-game winning streak. How do you keep this team hungry? You guys have another kind of slow week from all standards. You guys don't play till Saturday when you host CU Dub. Just keeping the guys hungry and wanting to build on this, because I've been a part of it here. When you get into those winning streaks, you can kind of get complacent and start playing mediocre ball and just getting by through these games.
Yeah, I give a lot of credit to Coach Connor. He set a standard for our hitters a couple weeks ago where we're not just playing against the other team. So we're not just playing against CU Dub or Lakeland this weekend. We're playing against an expectation level for our hitters. So we may go out in game 1, and if we strike out 8 times and get 7 or 8 hits and we win 4-3, Coach Connor's not going to be very pleased because we didn't meet our standard. We may have won the game, which is nice. The outcome worked, but the process wasn't right. So I think the way that we combat some of that complacency is we are just trying to meet an expectation level every single game. And that expectation level isn't to score 10 runs or hit 6 home runs. It's just the way we put at bats together. So, we are, funny enough, we kind of forget about the win streak every now and then. We really don't. Like, we'll win a game, and then one of the guys will be like, hey, is that 20 in a row? And we're like, kind of, oh, yeah, it is 20 in a row. So I don't know if the win streak is really getting to the guys, but I do love the fact that Coach Connor and Coach Wilson have really set a standard for our hitters, that they go out every single day and they're trying to perform in a level that they can perform to, and not just try and score one more run than the opponent. And that's how we kind of keep going and stay motivated.
You guys have a 4-game weekend ahead of you. You host CU Dub. I'm sure the guys will be hungry to get back at them after last year's results. Then you head up to Lakeland. Just one of those trips that you just kind of got to grind through. It's a long day up in Sheboygan. Weather can always be a factor up there in the middle of the cornfields.
Yeah, it's, obviously Mequon coming down to us is good. We like playing at their field, but it's nice to host them every now and then. Kind of one of the teams that have kind of gotten us more than any other team in conference over the last few years. So we'll be ready for those guys. And Lakeland's playing good. I mean, Lakeland got a couple wins this weekend, and they did it in easy fashion. So we're not going to take them lightly either. You know, it's one of those things where we got to brave the weather. We got 2 more days of rain, and we may get stuck inside a little bit. But it's just a matter of keeping these guys positive, keeping these guys motivated. I think that a lot of the stuff that we need to make sure we're doing as a coaching staff is business as usual. You know, we got to get all of our lifts in this week. We got to get all of our bullpens in this week. Just because we're winning, I say all the time, we'd be crazy to change anything that we're doing, and we're not going to. We're going to prepare this week like we did the last couple weeks. We're going to prepare knowing that we have an outcome that we have to go and get. But I think at the same time, we got to make sure that we're still focusing on having a lot of fun and having these guys do their dance parties and all that kind of stuff, because it's as much as it gets loud and obnoxious for the coaching staff sometimes, man, I love those guys dancing because that means we scored. I mean,
I'm looking forward to the day. We got to get to set a standard of what the win streak or what we do when we start seeing you and Coach Connor and everybody start limboing under the snake.
Let's talk next week. If we have a good week and we're at 23 in a row, we'll put out a number there that I will dance under the rally snake at some point after a home run. I'll put it live on the air so people can actually hold me to that.
Well, we look forward to that, hopefully, Coach. Cougars fans, it's a 4-game week for the Cougars. They host CU Dub on Saturday before heading up to Lakeland on Sunday. If you can't make it to the games, you can always find all the live links at cucougars.com/coverage. For Head Coach Mike Stawski, I'm CJ Sellner. Thank you for watching Coaches Weekly.